All right. Hello. Welcome everyone back to a Big K-less happy hour show. That's not Big K over there. What are you doing over there, sir?
Just hanging out. I got invited, man. I decided to show up.
Yeah,
I hear some people brought some moonshine.
I do hear they're coming over shortly, I believe. But
Yeah.
you get co-host duties for today, sir. So
Outstanding.
Welcome, Brandon of buildthetech.com and Switch.win and all the things that we will be talking about as well. And speaking of moonshine, I believe the DoorDasher has arrived. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. I have our moonshine today.
Oh boy. And Buck is with you as well. This is happy hour show, by the way. I haven't done this in a minute, so that's what y'all are watching. And we talk lots of crypto markets, Richard Hart ecosystem, and there's just a little couple things to talk about. So that's why we're doing a show. Actually, this show was planned before the news dropped last night of the ProveX mint. So we'll be getting into that later. And we'd have a little fun and finance on this show typically. Obviously, I welcomed in Brandon. Big K is on vacay-ish. He may or may not pop by to say hello. We will see. And of course, we have Buck and Dylan. They've been on the show quite a few times in our recent lineup just because of the ProveX pool, which we will talk a lot about again later. Dylan, show and tell, because I brought something too that I have not shown on the show before. What do you have there exactly?
So I got some homemade moonshine that was just delivered maybe an hour ago. I've got watermelon here.
Nice.
I've got apple and lemon raspberry.
Is that from the Carolinas?
This is from Florida. This is from right down the road. So
really?
Yes.
All right. Well,
made some fucking hooch in the backyard, So.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll have to get that address because I'll be headed right by there in a couple days.
There you go. These are tests, so I am the tester. So I will be.
So we could have a death on screen.
We could.
Blindness, not death.
Blindness.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So. Well, we witnessed, an era of love with you. So now we will witness the aftermath of whatever this beverage happens to be. So
I see.
Looking forward to it. Rax, you got anything over there?
What to drink?
Hydrogen water or something?
I've got some. Well, maybe I could tip this over. I've got some keyboard duster. We should have some fun then.
Sweet.
Yeah,
just do a little whip it shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Buck might have a milk bottle. Steal it from the kids or something like that. So
yeah, my kid he dumped 500 Pokemon cards on my desk too.
Oh,
and he asked me to figure out how much they're worth. So pretty much nothing.
He's smart. He wants to dump
them. But it's all good. We set aside some valuable ones, so that's good.
Nice,
excellent. DJ Cryptomatic, I see you. Thank you for the pregame show and the shout out as always over on Twitch, and all the Raiders coming over. Look at y'all. I see each and every one of yous. So thanks, guys, for coming over. Proof of Beard. Have not seen you in a while, my friend. Good to see you. Everybody out there. Hex Monkey seems excited. I wonder why. And plenty of OGs in the chat. Yes, let's go indeed. Hex Wizard, what's going on? Tantam, how do? Sean O'Malley, the fighter? No. Spelled differently, but good morning, sir. Good morning. Easy Type, Duke of Booze. Shout out to all of yous. We got a bit to talk about. And before we do that, my show and tell never was into gin and tonics until a crypto / finance guy on YouTube had one of these. And y'all may know who I'm talking about. But it really is all about the quality of the gin and the tonic water. And that was my problem because I just, gin, whatever, it didn't matter. But if you get like a nice gin with very nice notes and botanicals, like a Monkey 47. That's absolutely outstanding. Pair that with, this is the only part that's slightly off. Fever Tree makes great tonic water. That's the regular version. I recommend. I don't have it because they're out and not a lot of places have it. The Mediterranean version of their tonic water brings out the notes and botanicals even more. So
Interesting.
cheers to your moonshine, Dylan.
Hold on. Let me cheers with you. Cheers. Ink. It's good stuff.
As always, 2 parts gin, 1 part tonic water. And those flavors just make it absolutely outstanding. Yes, Cryptomatic here for the gin excursion. So, I mean, what has happened last since we last talked on this show? Just a few things, I guess. But we usually start off with Bucks Market overview. BTC hit, I guess, right around 60K. Could that be the bottom? Let's kick it around the panel. And of course, we have the Strait of Hormuz stuff going on. We have like Marines possibly getting transferred, deployed. I think it was like 2,500, something like that. Of course, markets didn't like that today and spooked them a bit. And then, of course, we finished kind of weak just because it's the weekend and a lot of people don't like going long into the weekend, especially when we are at war. So I guess to start, Brandon, let's get your take, man. You'll go just around the room here. How you feeling on just the overall? I think the economy itself is good, but the economy and the markets are two different things. You think like that 60K BTC was the bottom? I see a lot of KOLs and guys on the socials saying we're going lower. It's just going to flag out here, and then we have another big drop, which also makes me think that could have been a bottom.
Yeah, man. We live in a very complicated time in history right now. I think if we zoom out and we kind of take a look at the things that will push the market up or down, I think one big thing that comes to mind is the midterm elections. I think that Donald Trump understands that if the economy is not strong going into the midterm elections, then the chances of Republicans maintaining any sort of control, diminishes. So with that said, what sort of tools might he have to be able to affect that outcome? Most presidents go to energy. Most presidents go to oil. You can flood the market or you can pull supply off the market. We see that just about every presidential election, 6 months leading up to it. So I think that the Straits of Hormuz, what's going on with Iran right now, is extremely important with regards to how the markets are going to react to everything. The other piece that we really need to consider is all of these commitments that we've had from companies around the world to, commit cash flow and revenue and capital to the United States. Hopefully that starts coming to fruition here within the next 6 to 12 months, at least the initial surge, which is kind of lining up with the midterms as well. So I think that it's
plus
all going to
possible stimmy checks.
Yeah, people are getting more tax refunds as well on top of stimmy checks. Get more tax refunds than they expected. I think it's important to point out that Donald Trump was either directly or indirectly responsible for firing between last year and this year 300,000 people from the federal workforce. And even with that firing, the jobs report now and the economy are doing pretty well. And that's because all the job growth, a substantial portion of it was in the private sector. So I think that's big. So I'll say all this to say we could keep going on in different directions, but I think it's looking up for the, pretty much beginning now towards the latter half of this year. I think we're going to see some major improvements in the market, barring, any sort of catastrophic loss of control in the Middle East, which could very well happen at any moment. Black swans galore. I mean, you can just throw a dart at the dartboard and it's going to hit something that could cause all this to spin out. But I think that, I think we look good towards the back half of this year, personally.
Nice. That's opposite the Tom Lee, who thinks that we go up the first half and then we see like a 20% correction later in the year, which I think is interesting. Also considered that like February, March is typically, I think, where the lowest point in markets usually comes, especially during a midterm year. So we're right in that area. I think mid-March, I think it was, who was it? Ryan Dietrich put a chart out, like the average bottom day was like yesterday. So if it misses by a few days, whatever. But we do need some cleanup and more certainty out of the Middle East than, just, hey, our ships are going to be able to pass through the strait one day soon. People want to see it. And until they see it, I don't know if we'll gain traction. But once that's cleaned up, I think we run hard, really hard.
The legislation too. That's, crypto's driven by narrative. So the legislation that's trying to be pushed through right now, the KOLs are going to fire everybody up, and they're going to say, we've got clarity now. And I'm not saying that that's going to be sustained, but we might be seeing portions of that right now with Bitcoin trying to make some semblance of a comeback. But we got to factor that in as well, I think.
Freddie Quotes, this is the only show that could get me to turn off the Players' Championship. My man.
Oof. Cheers.
Thank you, sir. That's a big deal to Fred. I know that. Another OG in the chat, Matty Allen. What's going on?
What's up, Matty?
If Buck is there, I'd like to hear his take on markets and geopolitical events. Kind of agree with what Rag said, which I usually do. Buck, if you're there, holler. If not, we can go over to Dylan. All right, Dylan, your turn. What say you?
So I think a lot of the pent up or the seeing of the war coming, that kind of initial news drop is come and gone. And the market didn't really like nuke on that,
It's held up rather well, and especially crypto. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You would think, okay, war. Oh, my God, Bitcoin would go to fucking zero since what has been happening recently, price action wise, right? But I do think that we had a massive leverage flush in the beginning of the year. And I mean, there was a couple funds that blew up, if I'm not mistaken, right? There was one guy, some fucking Asian, that blew up an entire port that was worth billions at one point. It was, I want to say at least 200,000 ETH, or is it 200,000? Yeah, 200,000 ETH. Some crazy fucking number. Some fund blew up. I'm sure others did too, silently, not as publicly as that guy. That guy was liquidated on chain. So,
and nothing could be as bad as Ave guy the other day.
Oh yeah, that was pretty wild too. Yeah.
Awful.
I can't imagine the warnings and slippage warnings he was getting. He's like, oh fuck it, I got 50 mil. I don't give a shit about slippage, and it's like just total rape.
Yeah.
It's like fuck, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the leverage flush happened. The cool thing about this cycle versus last cycle we had a lot of shadow banks. We don't really have that right now, so that's good. We didn't really have the euphoric blow off top, so I don't think we're gonna have the euphoric dump. So I, with all that being said, I do think we're probably around or near the bottom on, the blue chips, ETH BTC and stuff like that. So I mean, that's my take. as far as geopolitical stuff, I mean, Trump is one day we're going to war, the next day we won, the next day, oh, maybe we didn't win, but we're gonna send troops, and then the next day it's like we're gonna just go through the Strait of Hormuz, and then the day after that, well, we went through and we blew up, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? So I think markets probably generally don't like that, but maybe he's crazy enough to where it just doesn't really matter all that much anymore. Perhaps, as we've seen, SPY is just kind of rounding off a little bit, and then Bitcoin's got the, hopefully a nice bounce going on, but not sure it's going to be a V.
I brought up that chart real quick just because if you look from the beginning of 2024, that kind of like resistance level that finally busted, I guess, close to November 2024. If you draw that line, which I did there, of the top of that, kind of flag, all the way over to the beginning of this year, and look where BTC bounced, right exactly to the penny on that line. So
pretty crazy.
That's pretty wild. But yeah, I just wanted to put that up there. But
these guys, they love to trade these lines, man. It's pretty nuts.
Trade the lines.
So. Buck says TA doesn't, is fucking hippy dippy hoodoo shit or whatever. So, I mean, hey, look at those lines, buddy. So
I use it as a guide, not an exact science, but
sure,
But I think there are levels that certainly I think
this game
are no coincidence.
Yeah. Hey, Cabana, check out my left shoulder. I've got a sniper behind me.
Oh, it's supposed to be a red light.
Yeah, red light.
Yeah. Got the battlefield sniper in the background.
Yeah, that's exactly. I was like, dude, I'm about to get murked. I don't even know what that is. Oh, it's the corner of my doorway. Sunlight coming through.
Yeah, perfect. It's like I don't know how it is where you are, but it is like
I had a
windstorm here right now. So it's like 30 miles an hour, like sustained. It's pretty crazy. But
oh shit.
Looking to head south shortly to the other studio, the much warmer studio down your way, Dylan.
Right on.
Next week. So
we need to meet up, sir. Like, come on.
Oh yeah. Well, let's chat about that offline. Maybe we can work it out. Doing a little spring training, baseball down there. So
nice.
Somehow the United States backed their way into the next round of the World Baseball Classic. So we take on Canada and get to ruin their lives again tonight. So it'd be fun to watch. We almost had ours ruined by Italy of all people, but we'll see.
Italians play good ball. I don't know.
What's that?
I said the Italians play good ball.
They have some good major leaguers on their team, and they went through the first round undefeated. So
nice. Well,
yeah. Who knew? I didn't.
I didn't know.
I can understand like Dominican Republic and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it's always like
great. Japan, where baseball is big. But yeah, shout out to the Italians out there. Buck, are you here yet, or are we moving on?
Sleepyhead.
Him go night.
Yeah. Well, I'm here. Sorry.
We were getting takes on geopolitical events, how they're affecting both the stock market and the nice resilience of BTC and ETH during all of these, I guess, past week and a half or so, considering all that's happened, plus price of oil screaming to 120 and then back down to 80, and I don't know where it finished today, maybe like 90 something. Your take, as we always like to get to start on the macro general market picture. We were talking about it is a midterm year, so volatility is likely to not be a passing thing, but at the same time, historically markets, I believe, bottom closer to the springtime. What say you, sir?
Yeah, I still feel pretty good about everything. you know, I think it is interesting how oil price going up so far hasn't really upset too many things.
I'm seeing 99 on my screen, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah,
it's I think it's obviously if it keeps going up, it starts to panic a whole bunch of things, including most stocks, and you think it would be negative for crypto too. But you know, so far, I think if you look at the forward markets, they are kind of predicting that this spike goes away in a month or two, and so the markets haven't puked about it yet because they think it's temporary.
Plus the faith in the Trump put, especially in a midterm year.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know if it's that so much. It's just they don't think this crisis is going to last forever, which is an interesting take for the markets. Because, but you know, having said that, crypto has surprised me. Being as strong as it is, I think that tells you that we've bottomed, and it's pretty likely that we're gonna, you know, kind of start to catch back up a bit, because you know this is definitely something to panic about, but it hasn't really managed to convince a whole lot of people to sell. So the other
I think signaling to the oil reserves, 172 million barrels. Maybe Trump is using that to keep things a bit more buoyant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they always find a way with these things too. You know, there's a lot of creative responses that they can have. But yeah, market's not too upset about it. So you know, market's still hoping that things that you know, something good comes out of it. We'll see.
Funny how we took over Venezuela just before we went to war with Iran, though.
Cuba's next.
I mean, biggest oil reserves versus not, you know, like, I don't know. You know, so.
Yeah, there's some monumental shifts happening that haven't happened in the past 80 years. I think we're in a different game geopolitically now than we have been in any of our lifetimes.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, you know, taking over Venezuela was also a huge disruption to Iran, Russia, and China as well. And it signaled quite a bit. So it's a new game here, guys. New game.
100%.
And it will be for, I guess, close to 3 more years while somebody is at the top. I mean, they're going to try to tie his hands if Congress flips. And so I think he might also be of the mindset of got to do it while I can.
Fuck it. Yeah.
Yep. I think that's what's happening.
Well, he said that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's executed his agenda at the fastest pace of any president that I've studied in modern times. And I think that he knows he has to execute that quickly in order to push his agenda out there, because the midterms are a huge variable in this entire equation, in my estimation.
Yeah, it's not looking too hot for midterms either. I'll tell you that. I don't think, you know.
Yeah, I look at what the media is reporting, but then you take a look at Trump's base, and I think Trump has the highest support of any president this far into his presidency. Really? With regards to his base, it's like over 90% or very close to it. So I throughout my life, I found out that if I hear anything on the media, I automatically assume it's a lie. And then I go back and fact check it. And I really think that could be the case in this instance. I know there's a lot of folks on the right, however, that don't like the fact that we're going to Iran. And then, just like you had said, they're deploying a battalion, actually 3 battalions of Marines, about 900 to 1,000 Marines apiece, probably on amphibious assault ships, LHDs, LSDs, and with the Navy. So that signals quite a bit too. I don't know what it's going to be used for, But they have to secure those straits. They might go island hopping. I've actually been through the Straits of Hormuz multiple times. And if you don't know anything about it, if you pull up a map and look at the Straits of Hormuz, Iran has a huge coastline along the Arabian Gulf, northern, central, southern, and there's a bunch of little islands. So I'm wondering if we're going to start island hopping to clear those out so we can, the surface to surface missiles that would attack ships, oil, military assets, maybe they start taking those out, softening them up now with the air superiority and then cleaning that up. But that's interesting. Really interested to see what happens, what they're going to do with those battalions.
And within that strait, there are like actual shipping lanes, I guess, that you have to go through depending upon the size of the ship.
So international waters are 12 miles off the coast of any landmass. And I think it's 30 to 60 miles across from the UAE to Iran, if I remember correctly. So, you're in a really, really tight choke point and you're very, very, very vulnerable. So yeah. So the problem is 40% of the world's oil at some points in time have passed through those straits, including Chinese and Russian oil. So you saw Donald Trump signaling to the Chinese and Russians, hey, I'm doing you guys a favor by keeping the straits open, quote unquote. So
yeah, I mean, this is true. I think oil production here is the highest it's ever been, right? So I mean,
yes,
technically we're fine, but if the rest of the world, is affected by $120, some out there calling for $150 plus oil, that's going to have a negative effect no matter how much oil you have here. So
yes, we're buying oil super cheap from Venezuela. We're basically just creating our own price, and they don't have a choice but to sell it. But this is and the Greenland stuff too is important with regards to energy. Like all this ties together. This is not as one dimensional as the media makes you think it out to be. This is
they have the rare earths too, don't they?
They have rare earths that are known and massive amounts of rare earths. It's speculated that they don't know about. So it's and what's funny is they're saying, well, climate change is happening and the shipping lanes are going to be opening up north. Well, you better get there before it warms up. So it's just there's so much going on. We could talk about it all day.
Yeah, we can, but this is also
yes,
a fun and finance and crypto channel, which is why most of y'all in the audience are here. I always do horribly at this, but feel free to smash that like and share and all that stuff. I never really think to say it as most other bros and gals out there do, but appreciate you, all of you. Speaking of which, let's see some more OGs in the chat. Hexhound is out there. What is up, Bit Finesse? TA is like astrology, to some. Jonathan Capallo, what's going on? See Briz out there, lights out, what's going on? Crypto Stylist, good to see you. Hello. I saw Mango Junkie is in there, and Far Out Aliens is out there, and a lot of the old OG crew. Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all with some fun things to talk about. Speaking of one of those fun things, I know we'll get to a certain coin here in a little bit, but originally, before the news drop last night of the ProveX mint, Brandon, you were scheduled, and obviously still are, and are here, to talk about something really cool that is coming to PulseChain. First of all, when is it already here? Is it like imminent? And of course, it's in your name there. Switch.win is the DEX aggregator that we've mentioned before here, but we haven't really like done a dive into it and like you fully introduce it. And also I thought it was really cool that little account on X called PulseChain shouted out PulseX, Pateus, who is another aggregator, and Switch.win. I thought that was a huge tip of the cap, especially since you haven't really come out and hit the ground with the the promo. So tell us all about, man. I guess just like maybe a full intro, like why you did it. We'll let Buck wake up here for a few minutes and let you go. But if you got like a show and tell or anything like that, and what I've been teasing is so many people on my Hex timeline, PulseChain timeline, saying when limit orders, and we've had
seriously,
I guess pseudo limit orders. You can explain this far better than I can.
Sure.
But what I say that you and the Switch.win are bringing the PulseChain, from what I've seen and what I understand, it's like a true limit order system. So I guess first, if you can give us an intro to Switch, and I don't think there's a token, is there? No need for
no
one?
token. No token.
And we'll get into limit orders after that. So tell us about Switch, man.
Yeah. So, Switch is it's a DEX aggregator. And what that actually means, because I always see people in the chat that might not understand what that means. So, just imagine, and I've used this before, imagine that you have, you've got two vendors and each vendor sells apples, for example. Now they're separated geographically by thousands of miles. So for the same apple in a different market, maybe that apple is $1 higher or $1 lower than the other one, right? So what essentially what an aggregator does, it finds people who want to buy apples, and it looks at each market and it determines whether or not you can buy it high or buy it low. And of course, people are going to want the best bang for their buck. They're going to want as many apples as they can get per dollar paid. So what a DEX aggregator does is takes those funds, it sources those apples or liquidity, right, or crypto, and it's going to find the cheapest prices amongst different markets. So when I say markets, we can think about DEX aggregators. We can think about private liquidity pools. We can think about OTC. So DEX aggregators give efficiency in the network, in PulseChain, and we're also on Ethereum and also on Base. We're tapped into the CalSwap solvers network on Ethereum and Base right now. PulseChain's different in that it's its own standalone network. So that's what DEX aggregators do. We have no token. We didn't have any sort of ICO. And one of the really big things that we thought about during this whole process is, how do we make this as simple as possible for other people to use? How do we benefit other founders and other folks out there? So we have a full partner system now. So you've got two options. You can create a widget. You can put your a wallet address into the widget, and you can embed this widget on your website. You can preload whatever token that you want to show when people go to your website. So what that does for folks who are launching cryptocurrencies is it cuts down on all the fraud and the exploitation in Telegram rooms when these bots come in and bad actors come in and put fake contract addresses. Now you can just share this link. It's already preloaded with the correct contract address. You can customize it with whatever color that you might want, whatever network that you might want as well. So this has been very beneficial. So that's one way that people can participate. The other way is you can become a full-blown partner where the customization is quite more expansive, and you can even set your fees up to a certain amount. And it's, you will be tapped into the API, which is very, very nice too. So we wanted to do this to help Switch grow, and that's what we've done. I was tallying up how many people have integrated this, how many different projects and, stats pages. I think we have about 7 at this point. And we've got a lot more coming on board. Now, I think that limit orders are really going to increase this quickly. So there was somebody in the chat that said, what's a limit order? Limit order basically allows you to set a price that you're willing to buy or sell a token for. And it's kind of on autopilot. So we have created that. We have done that. I am happy to point out that we're going to be integrating with Agarax too, or Agarax, however you say it. They're an OTC. So OTC aggregators love OTCs because you can find cheap liquidity there, and users are happy. The OTC is happy. But what we're going to do here is we're going to create limit orders, which is actually already created. You can go to beta.switch.win. I would use small amounts. It's currently, I think the audit is supposed to be complete today for the limit order system. Switch is double audited, guys, so don't worry about that. But use small amounts, check it out. But you can set limit orders overnight. You go to sleep, you wake up the next morning, they've been executed. You can connect your wallet. You can see all your pending limit orders. One of the big questions that people ask about this is, how does it work? So what we did, we created an operators network. Okay. So an operator is an independent participant who helps fill on-chain limit orders placed by Switch users. And so when a user creates a limit order, and maybe they specify a certain token pair, input amount, minimum output, that sort of thing, the operators network, which are people in the community, they compete to execute that order profitably. So we've created a base template, which is basically a bot for people to be able to run, and we've given it out to folks. And once a limit order system goes fully live, it's live right now. It's on our network, but we're going to kind of decentralize that order execution across as many people as possible. Now, the neat thing is when you have a lot of people competing, this is also incentive for those folks to build a better bot that executes quicker, faster, also has access to more liquidity. So that's a really cool thing. Any surplus with that trade beyond the output that is due to the customer is kept by the operators as profit. So everything's lined up incentive-wise there to be able to execute and to be able to keep the system running. If one bot goes down, the whole network doesn't go down. So it's kind of decentralized out in that way. So we're very excited about that because that's what a lot of people have been asking for a long time. And we will be bringing that to market fully publicly within the next couple days, but you can try it out at beta.switch.win right now. And it's neat. Clean UI, very, very important. It's probably 50% of the importance, right? In this space. So check it out. If you guys have any feedback, just shoot me a message, DM me, and we'll go from there.
And speaking of checking it out, I see in the green room chat, Dylan has been checking some out. How you doing over there, Dylan?
So I just wanted to see how good Switch does, and I did 1 billion or 10 billion pulse into Hex, and it output better than Pitius did. So, pretty interesting.
That's pretty cool. That's a big pair. So that's good. That's and
the smaller ones, it was just slightly ahead for Pitius. I think their fee structure is like hidden, so it's maybe the bigger things are charging a bit more. So, but
it's always it's a it's an awkward conversation to bring Pitius in here, but here's my message to Pitius and anybody who supports those folks. Ultimately, competition is just better for everybody on the chain. It's going to give users better output. Yeah. And those guys have worked their butts off, and they provided incredible service. You know, I don't see myself so much as competition with them, even though, you know, technically we are. I'm just taking PulseChain and the land that has been created for us, and I'm going to go kind of build my own thing and do my, you know, just find problems that need solved.
Oh yeah.
In terms of the fee structure, we charge a flat 0.3%. Yeah, 0.3%. Now, partners can go higher, which is pretty standard. They can set their own fee, and they can, you know, take surplus off of that if they want. But if you're at Switch.win, that's what you would do.
Nice. Yeah. And competition as a consumer, you know, myself being, you know, using these things, love the competition, by the way, you know, so competition brings lower prices, which brings happy consumers, which is, you know, nice for everybody else. So happy to see this. And I look forward to the limit orders very much so. So
yeah, you can try them out tonight. See if they execute. I will say with pretty 100%, well, 99.9% certainty that they will, with no issues. So I'm very excited about this. I think that a lot of people need this, and we're going to deliver that.
Okay. And what was the URL for that, by the way?
Yeah, beta.switch.win. So we just put it on the beta site, so it's not fully public. The other cool thing is, one of the things we were trying to solve is, you know, PulseChain got very tax token centric there for a very long time.
I was about to bring that up. Yeah, that's another good point, sir.
So one thing we did, we worked on this problem, which was if you have a new person and they're trying to be onboarded into some sort of tax token, it's just a pain in the butt to try to explain to them how to change slippage, and, you know, the first time fails and second time fails, and then you have to nonce out a transaction on IM or MetaMask. So what we did, we now Switch.win will auto detect tax tokens. So PTGC or just anything out there, it will auto detect the buy and sell percentage. It will adjust that for you. So the transaction automatically goes through, and then it'll adjust your slippage back to 0.5% after the transaction is done. So that way you don't get screwed if you trade or switch a non-tax token for something, you know, something else. So that's also one of the problems that we saw that we solved with this. Now, I do want to pivot and say that Switch.win is going to be the primary infrastructure for everything that we do moving forward, and it is the backbone. I see this. I see this as helping us, you know, build everything that we need to in the future on top of this infrastructure. And we have substantial stuff that's coming out very soon here. Been working on it for a long time. And my goal in all of this, you know, one of the lessons that you learn in cryptocurrency is, you know, utility absolutely matters. And I don't just want to create, you know, crazy utility that doesn't really solve problems. So everything that we're going to do, it's going to be focused around the user. Great experience from an economic standpoint too. Users are taken care of, and also just solving problems that need to be solved. So that's the route we're taking.
Yeah, man. And something I have to compliment you on is building during the bear. And I know you've been on this show jokingly saying, hey, you know, I hope we get a bear sooner than later. Well, lo and behold, you got your bear market.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you've kept building in this time, and perhaps, you know, others have either stopped or run out of funds or whatever be the reason for that. You have plowed through, kept going. And not just, I guess, Switch. I mean, you have a lot of other projects I think you're working on, and yeah, man. I mean, you're building during the bear, and that's rare, and that's good for you.
The reason that I'm doing this is in, you know, 2013, 2014, 2015, I was stacking. And then I lost it all in the run up because I was an idiot. Did all the wrong things, used the leverage, all that. But
you do.
Yeah, as you do. And after the markets crashed 2017, 2018, I stepped away and said, I'm never going back to crypto. But I started listening to some videos again, and I said, I got to do it. I want to get back in, but I got to do it a different way. And I bought everything at fire sale at the bottom of the market. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to sell. I'm just going to walk away. I'm going to live my life. And if I come back and my wallet's up, that's awesome. Ever since that point, and seeing what happens when you buy stuff at fire sale and the market turns back around and everybody else is your exit liquidity, that's powerful. So that's kind of like a faith factor too. At this point, I'm like, well, we're in the exact same situation. I need to be working feverishly. There's tons of FUD everywhere and everybody's upset, understandably, and all that. You just got to kind of push through it. You got to take the punches and keep building, or, keep investing in a responsible way. So that's what we're doing here.
Yep. We got a question from Duke of Booze, and I want to encourage everybody out there while we're still talking Switch. If you have questions, light it up in the chat real quick before we move on different topics. And even if we move on, I can always come back and snag them. But Duke of Booze asks regarding tax tokens, what happens if someone comes to Switch with a tax token and does not know Switch will adjust, i.e. I set slippage for 5% and Switch does it as well, or is it setting a rate turned off now?
No, it's automatically on by default. So let's just say PTGC, I think, has a 5% buy sell, maybe. Don't quote me. But if you pull up PTGC and it's in the drop down of Switch, at the bottom, you're going to see a little message that says, hey, this is a tax token. Here's the buy sell fee. Slippage has been adjusted for you. So if you want to push it through, that's the only real way to have the transaction go through, unless you do it manually. Now you can set it for higher than 5%, but our contracts go through and check their contracts to see what those buy sell fees are. But you can turn it off as well if you don't want to use that. And that might be beneficial. Say if there's a lot of degens out there that try to snipe launches, for example, which I hate. It's legal, but it's not moral. But you might want to increase your slippage in that case, because volatility is so high and that slippage amount can go up double, triple, quadruple. So hope that answers your question.
Boom. There you go, Duke. And anything else that I'm trying to think of to ask you, unless there's any other questions in the chat. Of course, you've listed, I guess, a lot of the major popular coins on PulseChain. Even like, I know this is like a PulseChain RH ecosystem related show, but you are on a couple other chains. Is that right?
Yes, we initially,
because I know many people in this community and or chat are very loyal to PulseChain, but they also dabble in, other chains.
Well, there's a lot of people that use Ethereum to onboard to PulseChain, for example. Hopefully that'll be fixed here in the future, pretty soon here. But yeah, we're going to cater to any, my philosophy is we're going to help anybody who wants to help themselves. So we built some of this utility and some of these tools for other communities. And so you can use this on Ethereum. You can also use this on Base as well. Now, I'm going to impress this upon everybody right now, which is the code is not the same on Ethereum and Base. We were building out a brand new build for PulseChain. On Ethereum and Base, we tap into the Cal Solvers network. So you've got batch auctions, and they help execute that. We're going to be moving the PulseChain code over to Ethereum, Base, Binance Smart Chain, any EVM chain and beyond. That's in our roadmap right now. But we want to get everything just ironed out on PulseChain, and then we'll be able to move and groove. And we're going to set roots down everywhere, and we're going to connect everything together. And it's going to be a beautiful thing, I think.
Nice.
One other thing. Freddie says this is copy paste code from other Aggies. No. So, in the development world, obviously there's like templated contracts that all developers use at a base level. But I'll tell you this, building an aggregator from scratch has been the most difficult thing that our team has ever done. It is substantially difficult. So we built this ground up, obviously with the templated stuff, but there's a whole lot more that goes into it. And, one thing that if anybody needs to build something in August of 2024, the way all this started is I launched buildthetech.com. So we are a legitimate company, and we brought 35 projects all across decentralized finance to market with zero exploits since August of 2024. We've had little projects, we've had substantial projects.
Congrats on that, by the way.
Say again?
Said congrats on that, by the way.
Yeah. So I'll just say that to say, whether it's crypto related or whether you've got a small business and you need an app or you need, some sort of software built, we can take care of all that for you. And it's an entirely in-house team, and we don't subcontract out anything. The only thing we sometimes subcontract out is like front-end design, web design stuff. But anything else that's happening behind the scenes, it's us. So keep that in mind, folks. If you ever have any needs, we'll help you out.
Another question from Freddie. You want to tackle that one?
Or other aggregator limit order programs using Switch code. So just a huge shout out real quick to all of our partners with Switch. These guys, for example, ZeroXCurve.com, these guys are going to integrate the limit order systems as well directly into their websites. But I don't think that any other aggregator right now, besides Agarax, which is it's an OTC, I don't think anybody else has limit orders to this extent built like this with the operators network that we have. So I hope that answers your question there.
And just like talking within the community, like some people have already picked up on Switch. I believe the Internet Money Gang is they like what you're doing.
Yes,
shout out KG.
Excited.
And you never responded to my DM to come on this show. So sorry, bro.
KG's a busy man, but
I know he is.
I'll say this about KG, what a stand-up guy. He's been grinding. He's everything that we've talked about today, he's just been stellar this whole bear market. It's been tough. It's really tough to build. And he's been awesome. And yes, we are in the process right now of fully integrating Switch into Internet Money and beyond. So very excited about that. I try not to hype stuff up and talk about it until we actually have it, just because I think that's the best way to go. So once
the opposite of Elon, under promise, over deliver. Good job. Good on you. Keep going.
So they have tons of daily users. Internet Money is growing pretty well. KG kind of talked to me about that. I'm not going to really disclose those numbers, but you should definitely ask him. They are definitely starting to ramp up right now. So I've even before all this, I was a huge proponent of KG and also Internet Money Wallet, and I use it and I love it, and it's just getting better every day. So I want to look for those types of folks to be able to partner up with and talk to and see if there's synergy, and if there's not, that's fine. I still support people and just try to treat people kindly. I think that's one of the, I know that sounds like progressive and liberal and Marxist, but it's completely different than those guys, I assure you.
And hug trees.
Yeah, I'm not a tree hugger, tell you that.
Well, speaking of building things and doing things in bear markets, I guess that could bring us to something that's splashed a couple places across the screen right now, and that's a little thing called ProveX. Anybody heard of that here or in the chat? No?
Not sure. What is that?
Vaguely familiar, right?
But, what is that thing?
Yeah, but I mentioned doing cool stuff in a bear market because the man below me, Dylan.
Oh.
And down there, off to the side, Buck, have pretty much put together one of the, I guess, could be, we haven't had a launch yet, but it could be one of the most beneficial stack pools in the community. And just wanted to get your guys's, I guess, before we talk token and, some more fun stuff, kind of just like a pool review. Like, now that, the tokens are basically waiting to be dispersed, and all the guys who sacked $50 are like, where my coins are. A pool review, like how to go, experience with it, feedback. I'm assuming most of it has been absolutely great. It's usually the smallest players are usually the loudest, as with any other customer service experience. But yeah, man, how's it going, and how you feeling? Maybe a little over 24, 26 hours until a go live.
Game time.
Yeah.
So early on, when the SAC was announced, Buck and I thought that the raise was a pitiful amount. I mean, the first day it was like 50 grand, right? It was ridiculous. And Buck and I basically were in a private chat chomping at the bit, like, oh my gosh, if this is his SAC, this is hilariously undervalued, and we have to fucking SAC to this thing, right? It was the total complete opposite from what we thought back in the day with Pulse and PulseX, right? Because, $1 billion versus on day one, essentially $1 billion, to day one, 50 grand for a ProveX. And so we're like, wow, this is nuts, right? And, the guy's not doing any promotion. He's not allowing core coins. And so, it just kind of all really just lined up. And so Buck had me go look around to see if anybody else was running a pool. And happily, I went around and asked. And basically, it was like a huge, fuck no, I'm not doing that, right? Across the board, mind you. And so,
and to some, that might smell of opportunity.
Yeah, we're like, well, fuck it, we'll run a pool. If we want to SAC to this thing, which we do, and we did, we're like, yeah, well, we want to get the best rate, and we want to make sure we're number one. So let's make a pool, right? So we then proceeded to talk to everybody, like, Cabana, went on your show many times, to talk about the pool, and got all sorts of FUD, like, oh, Richard's gonna smash the multiplier. Oh, Rackham's cute, calling us cute, and he's gonna, fuck you guys over, and this and that. And I mean,
Saudis will come in with a $5 billion sack at the very end.
What if Godwill comes in and sacks before you? Like, guys, who cares, right? So we went around and talked to friends of ours that a lot of you may or may not know, that have been around for a while, and they're just wealthy people that we've gotten to know and grown fond of over the years. And
some might be in this chat.
Yeah,
I see some OG names. You never know.
I'm literally getting a message about the bullshit right now. Customer service. Anyway, so these guys, we're going around and say, hey, look, what do you feel about this sacrifice, essentially, right? And I DM'd a lot of people that I know that are relatively well off in the community. It was mixed reviews. Some of them were like, after hearing my pitch of like, hey, I think he's sandbagging this and stuff like this. After the pitch, it was like, it makes sense, but I'm still on the, I'm still sitting on my hands. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I like it that much. Like, okay, and then for the guys that believed in us, obviously they were well taken care of. And they helped us solidify number one slot pretty quickly. And so time goes on. Buck predicted that there would be a Richard Hart video. I think he predicted it on this show before the day ended, or the day before the volume bonus thing, or the ramp up period started. Suggested that there would be a Richard Hart video, and he was correct. to kind of ensue some FOMO. And sure enough, I lost my bet versus Buck on regarding the amount that was raised. I bet under 11 mil and he bet over. So I lost that bet. And
what ended up 16 ish?
Yeah, about 16. Yes.
Okay.
Which I thought was on the higher end of what we could do based on where cores were. But anyways, so the volume bonus or the ramp up period started, the sacks tapered off, and then the almighty Nigerian
mystery
prince,
entity
exactly, went and sacrificed for ProveX. And after the volume period ended, as we predicted yet again, and did not screw everybody over, and he sacrificed to himself. Fast forward a couple months, we've kind of had radio silence, although beta testing has been live for, I believe, about a month on ProveX. So you can actually go and buy crypto from your bank account directly onto PulseChain as we speak on beta. There are a shitload of warnings, caveat on ProveX. So it's like, hey, you could lose your money. Once again, you could lose your money. Hey, by the way, you could lose your money. So the use has been pretty limited, but there has been people testing it. I think I could probably pull it up, but I think about 100 or 200 people or so have used ProveX beta so far. So that's pretty good for beta, right? Especially with all those warnings. Anyway, so we got beta, and now we've seen the rumblings of the testnet being live, and the tokens and leaderboards have been solidified. Once again, the little caveat at the bottom of the page, some of you guys have read it. Some of them even came to us and was like, oh, well, Richard's going to fuck you guys because, he has the caveat where he can manually change the token stuff whenever he wants to whatever he wants, right? We said, it's probably not going to happen. That would be very unbusinesslike, and people would not trust him if he did something like that. So once again, the final tally was conducted. It was proven that, hey, pool or not, you're fine, right? Testnet went live. We got wind of that, I think 4 days after it went live. And then on day 6, it was all of Twitter knew about it. And devs went right to work. They copied the contract that has been on mainnet for token distribution. That's been going live. People have been claiming, no problems. And now, about 24 hours, well, not necessarily 24 hours, but 22 hours ago, ProveX was launched on PulseChain mainnet and was started to be distributed last night. So that is the basic entire history of ProveX pool. There is some story yet to be told, which is the claiming and getting your tokens from ProveX pool, but that is the history.
Getting the tokens from those who entered the pool?
Correct.
Yes. Because those who sack directly have their tokens currently.
Correct.
Yes.
Now, there is to go further into details about that.
Let's go.
There is a 48-hour time lock on interacting with contracts and providing liquidity with the tokens currently. So right now, if you have just a regular address to address, you can send your tokens, right? But with the pool, we have a contract that disperses tokens and allows you to claim through that contract to get your tokens. So we have to wait till that block height to be able to send to the contract so that you guys can all claim your tokens or opt in for batch send. Now, getting into the details about that. So
yes.
There's 2 ways where you can get your tokens from the pool if you participated. If you didn't participate, don't worry, bro. You don't have to worry about this. But pool bros, if you're a chill guy that likes to sit in the back of the auditorium and just hang out and watch the madness unfold, you can simply raise your hand and say, hey, I'd like to opt into batch send. And this is ahead of time, by the way, not when the kiosk opens, right? So you're sitting in the back like, hey, I'll take mine when you're ready. That's fine. Just raise my hand in the back, relaxing, sipping some scotch, right? That's the batch send feature. Okay.
Or gin.
Or gin. Yes, exactly. Some gin and tonic. Yes. The batch send will be sent to you by the devs. It is a simple sign on the website. So that means if you've ever connected to something like DBank, where you sign in, it's essentially that, right? So you connect your wallet and you do a simple sign. You don't have to approve any transactions or nothing like that. You're basically just raising your hand and saying, send me your tokens when you're ready. Okay. That's batch send. You can opt in to do that now ahead of time. If you wait until after the batch send is sent, you cannot do that anymore. Okay. You have to claim. Now the claim guys, those are the guys that want to go right up to the front of the line in the kiosk and say, here's a transaction fee. Give me my tokens, bro. And they're rushing in all into the line to get their tokens as fast as possible for whatever reason they see fit. Now, there is a cool feature here that has been added, which I'm not sure any other pool has done, by the way.
Hey, lay it on me.
So if you so desire, you have the ability to send your tokens to a different address. If you want to break up your stuff from trackers, you can do that. If you want to donate to a different address, maybe it's a charity or, whatever, right? You can do so on the claim feature exclusively. Now, I'd like to add, if you enter a new address, you need to make sure that it is an address that you control. Otherwise, we can't help you. Once that's sent, the cat's out of the bag. You fucked up if you fuck it up. So don't do that. Double check, take your time. Do not rush. Also, if you've been hacked or there's some weird thing going on and you did not let us know, it's probably too late now. So, don't get hacked in the next 26 hours, please. So by the way, if you do not opt in for the batch send, you do not trust us to claim, but you still use the pool, for God knows why, you have 365 days to figure it out. You have 365 days to man up and claim your tokens. So, claim your tokens, please. If you're in prison, you can message us and we'll accommodate you if you need more time. So, but please claim your tokens. So,
thank you for that.
Of course.
Very detailed update. Hopefully that clears the air for those who haven't been able to attend spaces, who get their content from the YouTubes or other outlets. Buck, sir, are you awake yet? Because I got a few things I'd like to bring you in on with Dylan and Brandon. If not, it's okay. I believe they can handle themselves.
I'm here.
All right. So launch time, I think we mentioned it at the very beginning of the show, but not like 100% a certainty, but we do believe it's about 26 plus hours ish from now. Is that correct? Let's just lay that out to get the groundwork there. Is that right, Dylan?
Yes.
Okay.
I can give you the exact block height if you guys really want.
So Saturday afternoon, night on the East Coast, evening, and then late afternoon on the West Coast for US, if I'm doing my math right. All right. So with that said, let's get into said launch. Couple fun topics, I guess, and bring Buck in here. How do you see or what do you see, what do you think liquidity bonding will look like? And I guess two parts to that. What do you think it will look like? And is that what you kind of think it will look like? Or do you kind of hope it will be something else and you think it'll go another way?
I would say that liquidity is probably going to be pretty low on the offset, on the when the race starts. This is based on historical information on PulseChain. We actually looked up the number last night, and it was probably the least amount of DAI you could add was the first actual pair on the contract. It was 17 zeros and then a 1 of DAI versus I want to say it was 10,000 or 10 million pulse. I can't remember. Anyways, it was really low. Like the price was stupid fucking low. Okay. On the first block. And then people bought a little bit and then added liquidity and stuff like that.
Wait a second. Is tomorrow Pi Day?
Is tomorrow Pi Day?
Yeah. Just coincidence.
Oh yeah. 3.1.
People like, yeah, numerology. All right. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
3.14. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
True. Yeah. Wow. Very random.
The PDI guys' minds are exploding right now, and they're like got the whiteboards out and stuff like that.
Yeah, seriously. So the liquidity was extremely low. I presume that was placed by Richard, and then I think it was like an hour later, the chain either opened up or the first transaction / liquidity was actually added. So I'm pretty sure that was just Richard. And so I presume liquidity will be added immediately, just so that it's not all fucked up looking, right? Because like, you know, sometimes you have people that get the wise idea of like making really dumb liquidity things. So like it starts at $1 trillion valuation and then it's a huge red candle all the way down, right? We don't want that. So I presume that liquidity will be added at a very low rate. I mean, if you try and snipe that, you might get, you know, not a good deal. Maybe I don't know.
Careful is basically the message.
Sure. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you might get a billion X, but if you get a billion X and you know you're all of the slippage, you know, like is that really, you know what I mean? Anyway, so I think the liquidity will gradually increase as it did with PulseChain. I do think that it'll probably be a majority tied to Pulse. I hope that there is stable and ETH liquidity with it. You know, I suggested on Twitter when Richard did his post, like, hey, you do 60-40 Pulse stable split. I mean, that's probably a good start.
He did ask for feedback on that.
Yeah, so that was my suggestion personally. Yeah. So, and I did, you know, further down the line, it's just like, you know, 60% ETH and 40% stables versus the 60% PulseChain and the 40% of those bundles, if that makes sense. So, but I don't know. We'll see. So that's what I think. I do think it's going to be very volatile the first couple of days. I mean, I could get into.
Hence why I like to sit in the back with my feet up, and that's what I'll be doing. Yeah,
get your stuff and relax. Yeah,
when launches occur. Go ahead.
I think people will be surprised on the wise investor. What is this guy's name? I forget already. Peter Lynch. Is that right? Let's see. This is Cabana's DM. Yes, Peter Lynch. Cutting the flowers to water the weeds. Don't do that. Do you know what that means, Cabana?
What? Go ahead.
Cutting the flowers to water the weeds. Don't sell your winners for your losers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
the metaphor is a little off, but yeah, I mean,
that's the metaphor. What do you mean? Don't cut your flowers to water your weeds.
How are you going to water your weeds with flowers?
This is what he said, man. I'm just playing the message, bro. Come on.
Unless you use the flowers that you cut to sell them for water.
I don't know, man. Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
maybe. But
yeah. So the point is, you know, don't sell your winners for your losers.
Put it in crypto terms, bro, for all the peeps out there.
Well, you guys can figure out the connection I'm trying to make. So.
Yes. The Jeets still won't listen, but
that's fine. Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's probably going to trade at multiples above what you sacked your course for. And you might think you're getting a good deal, but then,
if you don't sell your flowers for if you sell your flowers for weeds, you won't have flowers. That's what it means.
Yeah. So,
flowers and weeds.
Yeah.
Not water.
If you what? Water?
Yeah.
I said flowers and weeds.
Right.
Dylan
said water.
Sell. Oh.
I don't know. If you look up Peter Lynch, selling you when it's the losers, it comes up. Could I just heard the word weed?
No, lights out. That's I think Freddie's still in the chat. Go. Y'all have a talk about that stuff.
I think Freddie's reformed.
This chat took a turn, but
you were all on
Johnny
me. Hello, Johnny.
We have Far Out Aliens philosophizing. I heard swap your ETH for Turkey coin and then swap Turkey for Chicey.
Gosh, the chat's going crazy now.
Yeah, here we go. Roller flowers to make weed.
Guys, cleanup is bad. Don't do that.
Weed. This is typical for this show. Appreciate you, chat, for keeping us entertained here. Any comments on that, Rags? We were talking. I know you hopped out for a second, but what your take on liquidity bonding will look like versus what you might want it to look like.
I also responded to that tweet from Richard after that video, and then a couple things he tweeted. I'm starting to suspect that maybe a majority of the liquidity is actually going to be in USDC. And maybe the reason for that is if he decides to, or if the market decides to push up the price of ProveX, that subsequently could also push up the price of Pulse if the pairing is thick enough. But then that pushes up the price of everything else that's paired with Pulse, which means that people can sell massive amounts of crap coins into Pulse and then bridge out. So I'm wondering if he's going to air gap it by pairing it more with USDC based on some of the little hints that he's been putting out there and asking the community about. He was talking about, reflexivity. He's talking about, well, maybe the community could try to pair some things with USDC and see what happens. So I wonder if he's going to have like a little social experiment and pair it primarily with USDC. We'll see.
I was very curious about and have mentioned on this show multiple times. So, and Johnny Chaos agrees with you that he could isolate it.
It would it would make so many people upset, but it would be so awesome to see.
Yeah,
because everybody's expecting Pulse exit liquidity. Now, I guess technically, USDC is probably the quickest way to pull economic energy off the bridge, and you just eliminate Pulse in that hop. So I'm curious if he's going to do that.
I think he'll do that as well, but I mean, the wild card is he might pair it with Pulse too, but I hope I would prefer just straight up USDC 100%.
Yeah. If I were in his shoes, I would make the price with Pulse, make the liquidity thin with Pulse if he's doing this, and then I would gradually add in USDC to air gap. That's probably what I would do if he's going down that road, which we have no clue, but or even WETH too. You could do that for stability, like USDC and WETH for stability.
Yeah.
All our man fam, USDC is the most legitimate, being US based. Circle stock is mooning too. Hey, yes, it is, because I actually bought the bottom in that, and I've been riding that train. And that's a long-term play, by the way. Good on you for noticing, all our man fam. Talking LP providing real quick, if we can just take like a step back before we continue on with ProveX a little bit more. I just wanted to bring up this tweet from a while back, well, not too far back, that RH made February 23rd, so a few weeks back. basically, hey, LP providers, consider bonding stable directly with Pulse, PulseX, Hex. I'm curious what the PulseX and Hex charts look like if they don't have the majority of their liquidity in Pulse. The fractured liquidity might cause more slippage, but allow each coin's merit to be more accurately valued. Heck, the liquidity is so low. If there was a good time to experiment, it'd probably be now.
True.
Here's a great thread for the thought experiment. Do remember, cryfags get le ban. So any reactions as to changes that we've seen? I've casually noticed, I haven't been, following tick by tick or anything, but on certain pumps, it looked like Hex pumped harder than, say, a Pulse. And that was my original thinking regarding this. And, if, you're tied down by liquidity being bonded to cores, and you have major sellers of, say, a Pulse or a PulseX, one way to get away from that and to see coins, rank on their own merit would be to do this strategy. So what do you guys think about that? And would you like to see this keep going forward?
Yeah. I think that bring that back up real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
No, you're fine. I think there's two ways to go about this. One of the theories that I had about this was, when ProveX launches, we got to understand that whoever owns the OA has is a substantial amount of Pulse, right? So one way that this could happen is like, hey, if somebody doesn't want to waste the USDC SAC money, what they could do is they could actually they could create a smaller pair, like Dylan said, with USDC to set the initial price, but then the OA could come in and he could start violently changing the ratio with low liquidity by using the Pulse that he has or they have already minted and just dump it into that pool. And you could really, really quickly moon ProveX that way. So that's one way to go about it. Now, this was one of the tweets that I was referring to. I guess this kind of went into the Rolodex of my mind, what I was talking about. The biggest, most important word in this whole paragraph is where he says the fractured liquidity might cause more slippage, but allow each coin's merit to be more accurately valued. Yep. Basically, in my mind, what he's saying there is like there's a metric shit ton of people who have a ton of Pulse and PulseX, and they've bonded the coins that they've created to Pulse and PulseX.
Yes.
But there isn't a metric shit ton of people that have stable coins per se. So that's what I'm talking about here, to where maybe he air gaps things and he pairs primary liquidity would be with USDC. Mind you, somebody has a lot of USDC to use. So he could air gap it, and then he could push that ratio in that pool to the stars with a very, very, relatively small percentage of the USDC that's held currently from the sacrifices. So those are the two trains of thought, and I'm leaning more towards, because of this tweet and some of the things he said on his video, I'm leaning more towards stablecoin liquidity. I really am.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
All right. I was going to ask your thoughts, Dylan, but if you agree, then good enough.
I did have something, but I already forgot what it was. So, it is what it is. Rags did a great job. So.
Good job, Rags. Talking price and, not just the existing cores, but, perhaps the new core that we're about to get a little over a day from now. How do you guys see, and if Buck, you're there, feel free to chime in as always as well. Price action after launch, and I'm not talking like, I see like a 20x. No, I'm not asking that, but more in terms of, since this is launching in an existing ecosystem, depending upon who sacked and who didn't, or how many cores they had, or based upon many factors, could we see some sort of rotation back into cores or a core coin? Be like, oh well, I got like a nice little bang up on ProveX. I'm going to take this and go back into Hex or something like that. Or, do you think, there are so few JEETs that ProveX can run, and that will not happen?
So I got an interesting answer for you here, Cabana.
Please.
Do you remember
do
what you sacked your Hex for back in the day? I know it was a long time ago, but when you sacked your Hex for PulseChain, do you remember how many pulse you got per Hex?
Oh man, tell me.
So if you were at the worst, like the no multiplier, you got 2,000 pulse per Hex, right? If you had an average multiplier, you got maybe 3,500 pulse per Hex. Okay, if you were one of the bigger guys, right? If you were a whale, you got way more. And with PulseX, it was around 3,000 to 1. Okay, that's how many you got per 1 Hex as the little shrimp guy. If you were average or more on the bigger side, which those are the guys that matter, you got around 7,000 to 1 for PulseX. Okay. Now, how much Hex can you buy back with the ratios at where they are now? Does anybody know?
No,
please
not
tell
off
me.
the top of my head.
So for Pulse, you can buy 12x more Hex back. Okay. With PulseX, I think it's around 17x more Hex back. Okay. And those never went anywhere back to what they were when you sacrificed, like at all. Pulse got to 400 to 1 at one point, which is still 10x less almost. So you can trade the volatility, but keep that in mind. They may.
Dylan, you bring up a really good point. This was a little thought experiment I did. Let's say that you got into Hex at the beginning. I didn't get into Hex beginning. I started participating in Hex in like 2020, 2021. But okay, if you got in Hex at the beginning, you had a huge run up. You made a huge multiplier in your money, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now you're one of these people that have a big dollar value of Hex. PulseChain comes in,
mm-hmm,
and Richard has to know that there's a lot of people who have a whole lot of Hex. PulseChain comes in, he says, let's sacrifice this. You're going to sacrifice your Hex for PulseChain. A lot of people had a lot of Hex. They put it into PulseChain. So let's say you had your $100. So that $100 lost its value by over 90% after PulseChain launched.
mm-hmm.
So that Hex is now on the market, or it got gobbled up. So now you have PulseChain, and all that money that you put in, now you have a PulseChain that's worth relatively less than what you had for Hex because it dropped so much. Then you have the ProveX sack. So you
ProveX
take your
or
PulseChain. No, ProveX.
Okay.
Or PulseX. That's also, but I'll just skip that.
Okay.
It's the same thing. So then you take your Pulse, and then you sacrifice for that. And then what could happen? ProveX could drop another 90%, and then people freak out and sell. So one of the questions I had in my mind was like, is this just a way to wash out the people who are paper hands? And you're taking a tenth of your original value, and now it's either on the market or maybe somebody important is gobbling that up to make sure that you're not part of the run up.
So I will counter
when
your
wallet sacrifice, sir. Sign me up.
I will counter your point here.
Yeah.
I had a private conversation with a group chat that has a bunch of OGs in it and stuff like this, and a couple of times on Twitter Space where I laid out the argument that I think the core prices have bottomed. Now, this is important because in this argument, I described that we're at the point now where, okay, you did have this massive run up on Hex. You stored that economic value into Pulse, and you overvalued this L1.
Yeah.
And you also overvalued this DEX. right?
Mhm.
With the stored economic energy from Hex.
Yeah.
That is now it was delayed essentially, right? It was like a big stake, kind of. And you also got a multiplier on top of it, right? If you were the big guys. Now, we've probably found a fair value with those tokens as we speak right now, right?
I agree.
And now it's not like some hippy dippy, like, oh yeah, we've gone down so much, it must be the bottom. No, we're actually fairly valued because the whole ecosystem is now worth as much as the sack bag is worth, right?
Mhm.
Like, this is pretty fucking fair value compared to when PulseChain launched, it was worth, 3 billion just a user supply, or when PulseX launched, it was worth 5 billion almost when just the user supply itself, right?
Yep.
So now the argument of, okay, you rolled in your Hex profits into Pulse, right? Which was, okay, say, you ran up and you actually did 1,000x, say, right?
Sure.
And meaning you got into Hex at 305. 405 was the bottom. That was 10,000x. 305 is your 1,000x, right?
Mhm.
Actually, it would only have been a 500x at that price point, up to 20 cents, right? Because that was when Pulse was. And so you ran up 500x, okay? And you store that economic energy. You got a 2x on that, so yeah, 1,000x. And since then, Pulse has precipitously dropped. Various reasons we won't get into, but it's dropped. And it's worth now 10% of the sack rate. So everybody's down.
Mhm.
Some of the select few have been up in terms of their original Hex position. If they rolled it into PulseChain, they may be still up dollar value wise, but pretty fucking down relative to their overall balloon in size of portfolio. Okay, now ProveX comes out and you're brought with a dilemma of, okay, so should I sack at the price of Pulse at what is it, when the sack happened, which was right here, November 11th, right? So you're at 30% of sack, okay? And you're watching the price fall, and which nobody really sacked at that point, by the way. Everybody was extremely reluctant to do this in the beginning, right? A lot of people sacked at the very end, which was, I believe, just a little bit higher than we are now. December 3rd. Yeah, so the price was 50% higher. Okay, still pretty low. And so these guys were forced to watch their bags fall continuously, and roll it into ProveX at a loss. I would say the bigger guys, which are the ones that matter, they had money on the side. So perhaps we have a different investor base than we had with PulseChain and PulseX. A lot of those guys thought, I'm going to get a 10,000x. This is going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, right? And we got a lot of flack for saying, I don't know, bro. Maybe it's not even going to do a 2x, okay? And anyways, so I think the investor base that bet big this go around is perhaps smarter. They may have gotten out a lot higher than everybody else did. And their time preference may be a little bit different than the guys that probably would have sacked 100K, but only sacked 10K this go around. I don't know, man. I don't subscribe to the 90% dump like that. Especially if Richard is trying to prove something. It's not very compelling to have this psyop narrative like, yeah, let's launch this new thing and put my reputation on the line again to just fuck over a bunch of people and then just not produce anything, or really, prove that he still has the magic to place on the board. So
Yeah,
Actually,
I don't. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Cabana.
no, yeah, I was
to
done.
see
Yeah,
what he
go
did
ahead.
there. Prove.
Yeah. I don't think I disagree with you on anything that you said there. I think maybe I could clarify my position a little bit better, which is I don't think it's going to be a drawn out dump over like 3 years. I just think that the initial fall off, which will, typically happens within 10 to 15 days of a project launching. we could see a lot of people just vying for a quick 2x. They're going to sell, they're going to push the chart down, and then somebody's going to come in and snatch up that supply. It's going to be very similar to
Sure.
the 30-day sell-off for Hex. So I think you and I agree on that. And I think, if I were in his position, and I know that there's a lot of paper hands out there, let it sell off, snatch it up, and then push it up higher, rinse and repeat. And that way you get supply in diamond hands.
Sure.
I think. But then here's the other big thing. The other big thing is, what amount of people out there who are, Hex OGs are really, really upset about what happened with Hex and PulseChain and PulseX, and they went in heavy and they just want to stick it to Richard to get their money back on a 1x, 2x, 3x up to 10x. I think there's that sentiment that's also circling around here too. But ultimately, again, that's good for Richard if somebody's willing to step in and grab that supply out of those people's hands. So it all goes back to that thing that you said, Dylan, which was great, which is weeds and flowers and stomping and watering, right? So hold on to your stuff. You try not to be affected by short-term stuff. I tweeted yesterday, I'm like, guys, I took a screenshot of Hex at the beginning, and I said, be prepared for 90% dips, guys. Just keep your mind straight, because we're pretty close to the bottom in the crypto markets, it feels like, and it's only going to go up from here. So just be very, very careful. Value your stuff carefully.
Yeah.
The only pushback I have, I guess, regarding ProveX is that the SAC base, I think Dylan was kind of like touching on this, is so different because, one, the size, and then two, as he was saying, like the different perhaps makeup of it, and the percentage of top sackers, or possibly, we won't know until launch, but the percentage of the guys who actually still believed are more diamond handed than not. And I just can't see like a 90% dip on this one. I don't know, watch me like curse the thing, but
let's break that down. Like, what does a 90% dip look like? So 120K market cap. That seems a little ridiculous.
Because right now, it's 12 million ish.
So for pool guys, if it broke even and then it dropped 90% for the pool, it would be 120K market cap. Like, that is fucking. I would sell everything I own to buy that price of this stuff.
And
well, I think people are dumb too. Remember the old Hex Telegram. It's like you monitor all these wallets and they do dumb shit. It'll wick down, and Dylan, you're gonna buy it up. So
I would buy 120K market cap all day.
Yeah. So if it starts cascading, weak hands are going to freak out and they're going to sell. It can go down. It can go down that much. Sure. It might be a flash. Now the cool thing is you got Switch.win to set your limit orders at 90% down now. All right. So you're good.
About that thing earlier in the show.
But just be prepared for volatility. The worst things imaginable can happen in crypto, and the best things imaginable can happen in crypto.
Very
so
true.
Just be prepared for that. I don't think we disagree on anything. So it's good conversation though, guys. Thank you.
Oh, this is absolutely excellent, especially with the launch within almost a little over a day, and we actually have like legit stuff to talk about. Anything?
Tomorrow will be business as usual for me. I'll look at the chart. Cool, but business as
tomorrow
usual.
night.
Nothing crazy. Yeah, tomorrow night. Yeah.
It's like Dylan was describing. I'm gonna be one of the guys at the feet up and hand up and be like, "Hey, what's up, bro?"
Now, it would be hilarious if we see a. I probably shouldn't even say it. Let's just go ahead and see a giant PDI pool paired with ProveX, guys.
All right, buddy.
No.
All right, dude.
Okay. It's just uncalled for.
I'm gonna drink to that one. Cabana, yeah, let's drink. Cheers. I I've almost drank this whole fucking watermelon one.
I was laughing
Not a
my butt
lot,
off.
Sorry, sir. We had a technical malfunction. Glad I was able to fix it.
I mean, for streamers, that's the best possible thing could happen because they'll have stuff to talk about forever. I would laugh. I would like just do it as a troll, please.
Please, God, don't.
And on the socials, endless.
Little known
content
fact:
is-
there's a lot of PDI stuck in a contract somewhere that could be dumped at any time. So just FYI.
Well, I'm like, I think if AI hadn't come out when it came out, PDI wouldn't be a thing right now.
Perhaps, yeah, because you just
AI
feed it, and then it just feeds off of you, and then it's like,
yeah, it's so
you feed it
cool.
more
So
shit.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, agree with that.
Some other. I'm just trying to tie up some loose ends here because we've covered a lot, and this is really good. Going on hour 40 now, so thank you all.
Nice.
The audience keeps growing,
Of course.
and I think it's because of the excellent discussion that you guys have been.
What are we up to now?
210 across all
Nice.
platforms. Looks like so.
That's rare in a bear market.
And
That's all.
yeah, rare and a bear, 100%. I thought I had something here about things comments I've been reading from those that are like in the spaces and whatnot. Oh, so I've seen a comment or two. It's like, okay, well, how can the market cap only be, and Dylan, you're probably the one that can easily articulate this better than me, but how can the market cap only be or start at 12 million for pool sackers when this entity came in and jacked up the market cap or sacked market cap to over 400 million at the end? Like, that's impossible, you know?
So, Buck went over this yesterday, which is, I'm just going to steal his words here.
There you go.
An investment, if there's a low probability of something happening, you basically don't count it in, right? So, meaning, with Richard's history, we know he doesn't sell Pulse or PulseX or Hex, right? So we can kind of just take his supply and just kind of wipe it off the chessboard so that we can get an accurate description of people that will be trading, providing liquidity, and market making on this thing, right? So
Agreed.
when Richard sacked for whatever reason he did, we can speculate all day on that, but he did, and my camera died.
Always does on this show.
Yeah. So he sacked. The coin supply went from 320 billion from real users like you and I up to 1.2 trillion or something like this. So when we take and display these numbers that we have, we are calculating based off of the supply before he started sacrificing, which is around 320 billion, as I stated. So those are the numbers we're going off of. So
Gotcha.
12 million is based on that 320 billion supply, not the full amount.
Yeah, I understand that, but I guess people, the
Yeah.
negative Nancy's out there will be like, well, a coin market
Actually-
ranking site is going to show
Actually,
all
there's
the
a trillion
coins.
tokens. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the market cap's going to be whatever, how many times that, and be like, okay, well, nobody's going to see that and want to buy it because,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so-
So what was that stats website in 2020, 2021, the real popular one? The guy just randomly shut it down one day, but it looked real. What was that stats website?
like in
not
this
sure.
ecosystem.
Yeah, remember he had took
Look at the Hex.
no, not looking at Hex. It was like a mainstream stats website kind of run by a
Hex
guy.
Vision.
No, it was he took that
It's a
spreadsheet.
good
from
trivia
what's his
question.
face.
Chat, get in there.
Yeah, he took the spreadsheet. He was really trying to dig into Hex and understand it, learn it to be able to list it properly. And he was at the highest of stakes. Nomics.
Oh, Clay. Yeah.
Clay.
Clay Collins.
So I always go back
Thank
to
you, Maddie
this.
C115.
When he adjusted the market cap, I'd say, guys, he just decreased the market cap by 75% and price didn't change.
Yep.
Why? It's because
Doesn't
it's
matter.
what people are willing to pay for it. So I always go back to that with market cap bros. I'm like,
Good point.
Yeah.
But in terms of like trying to value this accurately, and why like Pulse didn't do a 10,000x, because it actually does matter, right? So,
It does.
But in this instance, we think the value is low enough to where it's like, hey, this is good. Whereas with Pulse and PulseX, the value of the user base was a lot higher, and it's like, hey, this is bad. So,
well, he even said that. He was like, there's things that are lighter. You don't have as much participation in this, and so many people have gone away. So there could be good opportunity here. So he's saying everything he can without saying it, it seems.
yeah.
So
I think
I
there was like
really
a mention of like believers on the site somewhere. Maybe it's still
yeah, I
Like,
see the
what-
parallels between how, again, I wasn't here at the very beginning, but based on what I researched, the parallels between how he talked about Hex and the innovation and all that, would definitely with ProveX and he also he even addressed how come there's a sacrifice? How come you're divvying out a token for this? Why not just pump your own stuff? And he talked about that directly. He said, listen, it's ROI is really the best marketing. Having coins in people's hands gets people to talk about it, especially when price is going up. So I think that the writing's on the wall. I don't know how long this will take. I do believe that somebody wants ProveX to do very well. And it could be a little catalyst that kicks things off for PulseChain. That might be my cope too. So I'm just going to throw that out there.
There's plenty of that. I think we've all done. And you did charge your camera. Good on you, Dylan.
Yes, I did charge my camera.
Just just couldn't.
This shit
make it
just don't
over.
last, man. I just ran through the fucking battery, Anyway.
Some more loose ends. I mean, we're talking about, I guess, performance. So does it matter to any of you that the founder of said coin is currently kind of hunkered down somewhere, wherever, and unlike a Hex, which he was like just everywhere talking about it, this looks like it's going to be different because of various legal situations that are have yet to be settled. Does that affect this, or can this somehow gain traction? Because right now, it's our community, we know about it. Obviously the show is focusing a lot on it, but outside the community, I mean, this is something that needs to be put out there, because the as I understand it, most of us do, this affects not just the PulseChain ecosystem, but it can have tentacles into a lot of other things, and that's something that needs to be shouted from the rooftops. So how do we feel about that, with the founder being kind of like laying low during an actual launch?
Maybe he comes out swinging, Cabana.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Remains to be seen.
Well, I mean, he can only swing so much. I mean, swinging to me is like old school.
Yeah.
Doing streams with people, and whatever
100%.
reason that might not be an option right now, but I mean, you could do it on the socials, but at the same time, that has nowhere near the reach. But who cares? In the end, maybe 6 months from now, we're kind of like back in a bull, and things get settled, and we see him multiple times a week on streams. I'd be totally cool with that and waiting, but I'm just talking, I guess, the near term and how we feel about that.
I will say, Cabana, he's definitely set the bar low enough to where he could actually pull something off.
Yes.
Like he's definitely.
I'm not doubting that. I feel very good about this launch, and even if we get a dip, I'm very excited about this thing. Far more than PulseChain and PulseX. I was excited for those, but this one is just different dynamics for multiple reasons.
Well, yeah, in those dynamics definitely matter. This this is being advertised as a massive utility project. Now, why is that advantageous? The reason that's advantageous is because you don't necessarily, though this would be icing on the cake if Richard came out swinging and streaming and all that. But you don't necessarily need that if you get the right people that adopt this technology and you leverage their marketing. So you have a Zelle that buys into this, or you have a PayPal that buys into this, and now you've got an email list of hundreds of millions or billions of people that are going to be seeing this because it's a good piece of technology and it bridges the gap between Web 2 and Web 3. So I don't think it's as important also because in the beginning, Richard had, you look at his engagement going back on Twitter, for example, he didn't have the engagement that he has now. It's because he was in community building mode. His name is out there. His community's out there. His brand is out there already. So I think it's going to be different. It sounds like to me that he understands the importance of building something that everybody in the world can use, and massive utility. And so I think it's different. So I would be extremely encouraged if we saw within the first 6 months or a year some well-known money movers pick this up and start using it. And who knows what's happening in the background. Some of the people on his team have a lot of connections with Silicon Valley, and word can travel. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I would be very encouraged if I saw that sort of thing. That would make me very happy.
I like that. Dylan?
Yeah, I agree. I think the streaming and stuff is icing on the cake. I genuinely think he set the bar low enough to where he can pull something off. I mean, even back in the day, we had, remember the fucking taxi cabs in London? He was just trying everything, So, and with the tablets, kind of showing the initiative to kind of just try anything, So
better than postcards. So yeah.
So maybe we see some other creative ideas, whatever he
pay
sees
people
fit.
to use ProveX.
Yeah. So
pay no coiners to use ProveX. Every transaction.
Yeah. Some sort of incentive.
rebate,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, we have the ability to do that at this point.
So I mean, the gates are, or the playground is to your building, right? However you want to build it, Richard. It's your playground, buddy. So, we're here for the ride and to help you make it come to fruition, right? We're your little henchmen, so to speak. Taxi cabs weren't Richard. Well, I mean,
his best friend.
Brent, yeah. I don't know. Maybe Motley, if this shit does a 10x, you could be the guy that does the taxi cabs in Puerto Rico, right? Like,
there you go.
So, yeah, I don't know. So we'll see, man. I mean, we had football teams, we had NASCAR, we had taxi cabs, we have doodle pads now. Like, there's always some shit going on. Like, there is definitely
There's like a late night TV ad or something.
Was there really?
I
don't remember this. I even ran ads on my YouTube channel. Early on, I was like, fuck it. Let me just write some ads.
Motley, no NASCAR was enough. I'm out.
Yeah. That was fun, though, I will say. I enjoyed that. Anyways. Yeah, so maybe
there you go.
We'll
the 2026 version. Wrap the robo taxis.
Maybe we'll do Monster Jam, Motley. How about that?
Oh boy, it's probably cheaper than NASCAR.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna troll Buck with the intern, and we were gonna yeah, Buck, we're like totally serious pitch, just like we're gonna wrap a monster truck in fame, like just totally fucking. Anyway, I genuinely think the bar is set low enough. I think he's sorting the legal stuff out with Interpol. So I mean, the world is his oyster, so to speak, and we're his henchmen. So what if he leads the way, we will follow and push his agenda.
Rally him up. Let's go.
Exactly. So just show us the way, so to speak, Richard. You know,
Yeah.
like
I'm trying not to depend on him for anything, but
well, we kind of have to, you know, like unfortunately.
it's the icing on the cake sort of thing.
Totally
Yeah.
icing because
Yeah.
I mean it's been years and look at what I mean people are still around, like you see all the OGs in the chat. I
Mhm.
mentioned Brandon and what he's been doing during the bear. I mentioned Dylan and Buck, what they've been doing with the pools and whatnot, and they also have put out products that still work. Yeah, you know, there are good people in this community, and if they keep hanging around, it's just going to attract more good people. And I think that's it's a small sample size, but it's evident in this chat right now. So many names I've known for years and years now, because of this coin or coins and community. And yeah, a lot of them I've met in person, and it's awesome. I want to get to that point again, to where we feel that good and just be like, all right, we're back in the bowl. And I think pretty much everybody out there wants the same thing.
Yeah, but there's so many people that are still hanging around. It's one of the strongest communities out there still. And, I don't know if people want to adopt this or not, but it's like, if let's say you're in a ship out in the middle of the ocean and the captain jumps off and you don't know that he has scuba gear underneath the ship and he hooks up, he's still good. But now here you are on the ship, you're looking around, you got a giant ship, and like, are you going to save yourself? And by save yourself, I mean, like, what can you do right now to settle the land that's been provided? And I'd love to see a massive, like Dylan, you guys are doing it, and we just need more people going out there and coming up with ideas and doing their best to execute on those ideas and not depending on a central figure as much. Again, it's going to be awesome if he whatever he does, that it's going to be icing on the cake. But we've got it. This is ours. Go turn it into what you want. The oyster is our world. Wait, the oyster is our world, right? The world is our oyster.
The world is. Are you trying to do a Dylan metaphor again?
Yeah, the world is our oyster.
With
Go
flowers turning into water, and creating weeds or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I said it confidently too.
That's right,
guys. You're making me self-conscious about drinking moonshine now. Come on,
dude. It's that early onset Alzheimer's here. Old ginger.
I guess we can start to land the plane here. Just looking over any other remaining questions. Got a couple, I guess, in the chat.
What does Buck think, Mr. Sleepyhead?
I don't
Boomer.
know. He still doesn't know.
Oh, he's snoring. Okay.
Good night, Buck. It's like one of those
sweetie pie.
Everyone say their good night to Buck. Nighty night. All right. Yes, Molly. Buck is napping. I think you touched on this a little bit, Dylan. Just wanted to go over it because I had starred a comment from Far Out Aliens that just brought this to mind. I think he'd just be good. Both of you guys would be good. Just real quick to touch on this. Okay. I just how not to F it up, pretty much. Okay. So this launch, a lot of people have tokens, but there's a lot of sketchy stuff out there. Far Out Aliens just got sent the fake ProveX tokens to my wallet from the fake ProveX token. The scammers are already setting up their little trap. So everybody out there, be aware, know the contract address. What else can we do, guys?
So you could essentially just be very patient and wait for Richard to say something. Okay. That's like the simplest thing you could do. Another thing is if you go to the ProveX.info Telegram, let me get this is the main Telegram, by the way. Okay. Let me go find the main Telegram here. Do not join one of the scam ones. Please don't do that. The @ is t.me/ProveXinfo. That is the main official Richard Hart Telegram. Don't misspell it. Yeah. Let's see here. Copy to the link. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to be able to send it here, but I will. I press send. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that is the official main ProveX Telegram. Okay. If you can see it, and there is a filter in there set up by the admins in this chat, which are trusted ones that are community members. They've been around for a while. Anyway, if you do /CA, the contract address will show up. If something lands in your wallet and the contract address is not that, do not interact with it. Don't add it to your wallet. Don't send it around. Don't do anything. These scam contracts, they could drain your whole wallet via when you go to send it, it asks you for permission to do something and essentially just gives it all permissions to siphon out all the money in your wallet. So please don't do that. Just be wary of that attack vector. So those are two ways. Another way is in the ProveX pool Telegram, t.me/ProveX pool. There is also the suspected contract address as well. You type in CA in the chat and you press enter, and the same exact contract address will pop up. Okay. Now, once again, it's not 100% verified. However, we are deducting using deductive reasoning that the same developer that launched the testnet version on testnet of ProveX, that wallet was the same one that launched the mainnet version. Okay. It also has the same exact bytecode as it did on testnet. So, you can deductive reason, like Richard posted about testnet, that it's there. You can check your balances and stuff and claim and do whatever. That this is probably 99% the actual thing. Okay. So that's the contract address. It's in those two chats. And then the third one is you just wait for Richard. I don't know if I can post it on YouTube. I'm not even going to try, but I mean, it ends in 0B11. Okay. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. And one more thing after it launches, and this is becoming a big problem across a lot of different chains. Let's say that you wanted to swap ProveX for USDC. So you do the swap, and then you go back to PulseScan because you want to copy the contract address to do the swap again for whatever reason.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. So what people are doing is they're monitoring the swaps, the mempool, and what they're doing is they see that you swap USDC for Pulse or for ProveX, and then they will spam you. They will spam to your account there, to your wallet, a bunch of fake USDC to ProveX transactions, hoping that you come back the next day and you see USDC, you just copy the contract address and put it in and swap, and then you get drained. So it's called poisoning. So you got to be very careful about that. Try your best in any situation to verify two ways. Like we even have default contract addresses in our dropdown on our website, but that's not 100% safe too. Yeah, Switch.win. I'm telling you just to double verify to make sure the contract address matches up to the other one. Verify somewhere else because websites can get compromised. Like bad things can happen, and that's us and that's everybody. So if you want to know more about poisoning, just go to Grok or you can go to ChatGPT and put it in and learn more about it. But be very, very careful.
Thank you, gents. Going over any other questions? Yes. Motley, yeah, guys, please don't get hacked. We can't afford any more sell pressure. Hello, sell pressure.
The only good fuck up that you could do is sending your shit to the contract address. Okay.
Yes, please do more of that.
That's the only good one here. Okay?
More of that.
Bad for you, but good for us. Okay. So you want to fuck up that way, please. Don't, don't get drained.
Any other loose ends here? I know you guys had answered this in the chat, but just want to put that out there for people who may have tried GoPulse. What's another site like GoPulse? GoPulse hasn't worked for me in a couple days. Johnny Chaos mentioned PulseCoinList.com. Rags, you mentioned
what is he looking for?
Stats.com.
Yeah. Like what exactly are you looking for? Just a portfolio tracker? Did you want like the the like how much everything is worth, or like what do you want? I think Pulsefolio does all that stuff too. It works good for me, I think.
Pulsefolio good.
Yeah.
Franklin St. Hex, what's up, man? Yo, Dylan, I want my token personally delivered to here in Puerto Rico. If you don't mind, or if you don't, I'm gonna enter Buck's nightmares like Candyman, the Nigerian.
Right away, sir. I'll get right on that. Fly me out.
Good to see you, Franklin. I think that's about it, gents. Brandon, I guess we'll go around the room and do our post-show shill. But you talked about earlier on in the show about Switch.win, so I encourage everybody to go check that out if you like the idea of possibly getting more for your switches, or some other people call
We
them
switch,
swap.
we don't swap. We switch,
Yeah.
we don't swap. That's right.
That's right. And I guess tying into this recent conversation that we've had, ProveX, if it does launch 25 hours from now ish, how can users handle that on Switch, or what should they look for?
Yep. So we've already got it staged, and we'll push it in production as soon as it launches. But we're going to have the contract address on Switch.win in the default dropdown. You'll see it. You press, you're trying to select your token. It'll drop down with like 20 tokens. You'll see ProveX there. The other cool thing that you can do to take advantage of this is you can use limit orders now. Legit limit orders. You can set limit orders for prices that you might want to pick ProveX up at if you think it's going to sell off. So you can set limit orders underneath price, or sell orders
beta,
above
or
price.
is it like live now?
Yeah, beta.switch.win. Use small amounts tomorrow. You can find me on Brandon R2R on Twitter. And what we're waiting on right now is, the full audit for the limit orders. So just use small amounts right now.
Or different chains, because if somebody goes to Switch.win, the DApp, there is a limit tab there right now.
Yeah, so we've got limit orders set up for PulseChain, Base, and Ethereum as well. But you will select the PulseChain logo, and that will kick you over to the PulseChain side. So nice. Bottom right there. Boom. And that's on the primary website, but you'll go to beta.switch.win for now. We're going to kick that over for PulseChain. We're going to kick that over to the main site, hopefully by this evening or tomorrow.
Nice.
Yep.
Sweet. And
look forward to buying the 120K market cap dip.
You and me both.
I think there are so many people that want that to happen, that are intelligent investors, that there is no chance of it happening, but you never know, depending upon how things are set up and who does what. And you could have another Aave type bro.
Little skunk bids happening, Might as well.
Do that to his ProveX, and we could see some crazy. I think no matter what, we're going to see some fun things happen tomorrow night. So, Dylan, since Buck is napping with the babies, show y'all, will you? Because
sure,
you have succeeded, and you're almost crossed the finish line with your ProveX pool. And shill that. And if you all want to be found, and any other things that you could think of before we get out of here.
Of course. If you have any pool related questions, join the Telegram t.me/ProveX pool. You can find us in there. We will not DM you. If you have a question, you can DM me. Don't DM Buck. He will not reply to you. Yes,
I think he would really enjoy that, though.
Yeah, I'm talking to you, the one that wants to DM us. Yes, you just DM me. I'll take care of you, bro. Don't worry about it. If you really need to get a hold of us, that's there. I highly suggest you join the Telegram just in general. There's a lot of smart people there. There's a lot of wealthy people there. There's people that you don't even know that are wealthy that are in there. So,
what's that room?
ProveXpool.com.
ProveXpool.com.
Yes. So t.me/ProveXpool. That chat is very based. We do allow free flow of opinions, so bulls and bears go at it in there. I probably almost every day. Dan has
Yeah.
been adamantly bearish.
Dan who?
Dan Debo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it
Danny
Dan
Downer.
Emery?
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you can find us there on Twitter. You can find me at @BB_trippin with no G.
What's that stand
find me on
for,
Twitter.
sir?
It stands for bitches be tripping. Okay.
Thank you.
I made that a while ago, guys. Please, don't stone me.
Never let it go.
Yeah.
Always keep that.
Yeah, I'll just keep it. So yeah. By the way, if you want to opt into batch send, you probably need to do that now, right? Don't wait. Do it now. Because once that's done, you can't opt into that, and you're gonna have to claim anyway. So, Cabana's already opted in. He's chilling. He's good. He ain't got to worry about shit. Be like Cabana, okay? He's sipping his fucking tonic water, right? His gin, okay? Like he just finished it. Look at this cool guy, all right? So yeah, get that done. Get familiar with it. Go and play with it on testnet if you really want to, and if you still have questions, always DM me. I will help you out. If a Nigerian DMs you and looks like me, and they say to enter your seed words in a random website that you've never seen before, please don't do that. It is nearing the too late era for us to help you in terms of getting your scammed seed words to a different location. Okay, so my friend Dylan is hot boy for life still. Oh my god, yeah. Jesus, man. I'm glad I'm not that guy. Yes. If I like you enough, I can help you out in person. Yes. So yeah, once again, last time, if you have any questions, join
Did you
the
say
Telegram.
that to your fiance? Is that how y'all met?
What?
If I like you enough, I can help you in person.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
I said, hey, let's go out to eat somewhere. Let's go to this place. And then the dinner went good, and then it was like, hey, let's go out to this park. Let's go walk around.
The swamp.
Yeah,
The glades.
There was. It was kind of a swamp. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So if you guys need help, please reach out to me. Keep in mind, I probably will be very busy when launch happens. A lot of you guys like to wait to the last fucking minute. So, bear with me. Okay. But yeah, try and figure out yourself. If you still can't do that, DM me. I'll help you.
I will say for you, since you can't be on screen, bear with him.
Thank you.
All right, gents. Well, thank you all for being here in this hopefully closer than not to the end of the bear market stream. We will find out, I guess, in the coming weeks and months. And chat, you guys rock. So cool to see so many OG faces: Franklin, Motley, Lights Out, Crypto Stylist, and Johnny Chaos. I'm just going through them all, man. As Matty Allen is here, Freddie Quotes is here. Just really cool to see after years and years. So good stuff. Makes me feel good about what's to come. We have an exciting launch 25 hours from now. So set those little alarms. And yeah, tomorrow night's gonna be fun. I try to not focus on markets on weekends, but tomorrow will be an exception for sure. And the days after. So fun times. It feels good to say that because we haven't had something to get excited about. Maybe like legal victory here and there over the past few years, but like an actual launch and with different sacrifice dynamics at play and users perhaps being a little bit different, the user base. So we will see. Once again, thank you, chat. Thank you, Buck. Thank you, Dylan. Night, Buck. And Brandon, Switch.win. Check it out. I like it. I check all the things. So, do your DD.
Oh yeah.
As Dylan and Brandon said, competition is good. So check the competition. This community makes itself better. And
Yep.
That's one of our biggest strengths for the good actors here. So thank you. Shout out to all the good actors as well. So Big K did not make a cameo. I'm a little sad about that, but it is okay. I'm sure he will be back next stream. He's actually running around with another Hexkin, I believe, down on the island somewhere.
Nice.
So that was his doctor's note, which I understood, but you guys filled in magnificently.
Oh
So
yeah,
appreciate
he
it.
missed a good one, man.
He did. And I'm guessing we're going to see this thing clipped up with a lot of the stuff that y'all dropped on the socials. So appreciate you guys. Really do. Thank you so much. And thank once again to the community. And we are out of here. Stay tuned to Cabana, not the Cabana of Hormuz socials, but at Cabana Crypto on all platforms. You know where to find me. That'll be your show times. Follow Big K, at Big Kurkowski, Kurkowski. And you'll know when our next show is. All right. That is all. I am out. Dylan is out of moonshine, perhaps.
I'm slurring a little bit.
Or perhaps he is
I'm just getting started, baby.
watering his weeds with something.
Oh my god, here we go again.
Anyway. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We will see you next time. Cheers.